Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting-edge conversations while exploring the quantum possibilities. And you could probably say it for me, we are so going to do it tonight. We have one of my favorite guests. And before Augie tells us about our guest and introduces her, I just wanted to invite you to connect with us outside of Tuesday night. You can connect with us at broadcastteamalpha.com. And you could also connect with us soon in a very new way. We are starting an online membership community, and you can be part of our community. It's going to be on YouTube, but the content and the availability, we make ourselves more available for question and answers, for private conversations. You know, Augie talked me into talking about my experience that I had when I was 16 years old. And he's got a couple of experiences that he himself will be talking about. And that content won't be, you know, on just the regular full access YouTube channel. It'll be in the membership community, which will be a really, really low price. So be on the lookout for that. You'll be able to sign up soon. Mac has some, you know, dealings going on with YouTube, making it happen. They have to approve us or something. So it will happen soon. And also, if you want to be part of making history, if you want to be part of helping to change weather patterns or cataclysmic events that becomes a near miss, or weather events that become a no thing, you can join us for the Mastermind Connection on Sundays. In order to join us, you send an email to make sure you put THE, mastermindconnection@gmail.com. Augie will send you the link. It's Sunday at 2 p.m. You come, you hang out, we go on this beautiful meditative journey where we envision all of the outcomes that we want for the world, for the universe, for the creatures on the planet, for the earth, for Mother Gaia, all of the things that we envision. And I can't help but say there is evidence that so much of what we're masterminding is shifting. So if you want to be part of that, send us an email. Augie, let's talk about our guest.
Yes, and one more comment on the mastermind is that we're doing some incredible things, and I'm not going to tell you anything about what it is because you wouldn't believe me anyway. It is that big event that is happening. Anyway, I want to talk about our guest, Jeni Cousins, is back on Broadcast Team Alpha, and we're going to have some fun tonight. Really having fun tonight. Because, well, she is very special. She has some abilities that everybody has, but not that many have been able to bring them to the surface and actually use them the way that she is doing. And I want to first also say her website, because a lot of people like to surf the website while they're listening to the guest, and that is soulworkwithjeni.com. That is Jeni. soulworkwithjeni.com. And Jeni is an internationally known television host, psychic medium, clairvoyant, past life akashic records reader, and a relationship coach. She's an intuitive life coach and a Canadian TV host for 4 years. And that's what I get for putting cream in my coffee. Anyway, this is going to be good because we are going to have people asking us questions for readings that she may be able to give during the show. So do that in the chat room in the second half of the show. We got some really interesting stuff to talk about first. And I forgot to say that she also has a column in FS Yoga magazine. Her column is called Just Ask Jeni Ji. And she gives answers and short readings and stuff, so you can get a little bit of taste of the capabilities that she have. And now for the next hours, she's all ours, and welcome to the show.
Welcome, Jeni. Yay.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here with you both. So grateful.
So good. Can I, before you start, because I don't want to interrupt you, hold your questions, please, until the second half of the show. Otherwise, they're going to be scrolled up and we won't get to see them. Thank you. Sorry, Jeni. So good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. I just love you both. You know, I really do. And I'm always grateful, like I said, for being here.
Now we know how to have fun.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to start out of the box, right? Let's start with your experience, your recent experience, because lots of the planets are retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. A lot of people are feeling the energies. The veil is lifting. Psychic abilities are coming through to people and they're not even trying. And other stuff is happening, like what happened to you.
Yes, like the energies are off the rocks this month, as I call it, because we do have 6 planets in retrograde. We've had the Pisces full moon. We have had the new moon is coming up, and we also have solar flares. And the solar flares will literally affect planet Earth as well, by bringing in harsh, like could be like volcano eruptions, like storms, you know, like major things like that to make things shift. So of course it's going to affect all of us and any species, like especially animals. Like you probably have seen or heard, you know, like there's been a lot more animals passing recently. I've done so many more calls with clients on animal communication because their animals are not well. So the energy really affects everybody. And there's so many signs right now for everybody to pay attention to. So many signs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've noticed my little 4-pound Chihuahua. We used to go out and she would pull me all around the neighborhood, around the block. And now she goes out maybe a block and then she wants to come back home. It's really weird.
Because she can feel the energy, right? Like, you know, the especially like the solar flare energies, it's so harsh. It's really harsh on people. And that's why it's like, drink a lot more water, meditate, ground yourself better. And the more sensitive you are, the more it's going to be more difficult to be around other people. Like if even listening to different sounds or being in crowds or any little thing could really irk you. That's why there's more car accidents right now. That's why like there's a lot more emotions. Like their emotions are like skyrocket high, you know, because it purposely will set you off and bring things back that you thought you might have healed from, but you haven't. So
and I think too that there are influences that maybe we haven't had before. From the veil being thinner, we get other influence coming in from another reality into ours. And boy, oh boy, did you have an example of that here the other day. Please tell us about that when you saw something in your house.
I mean, yes, like normally I see spirits 24/7. I communicate 24/7 with them, which is normal. However, my dog has seizures, so I bought a camera just to watch her, just for whenever I have to go out. No other purpose. And last night I was in bed. It was later, and I was trying to read my book and kind of texting my friend at the same time. And any time that like if somebody's in front of the camera, like if it's myself or my dog, I get notifications immediately on my phone that, okay, there's somebody that's in front of the camera. And I'm like what's this about, right? And I looked at my camera on my phone and I'm like, oh my God. It was this like young man, maybe late teenager, early 20s. He had a baseball hat on. He had a light jacket and a knapsack, and he was in my living room.
Wow.
And like, I didn't feel like nervous or scared or anything. And I'm like, okay, but why is this on my camera? I didn't no, but I live alone. I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's not like,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, you're going to have to face the music, Jeni. You're going to have to like get out of bed and just go look. And I looked at my camera again, just really quickly. He was gone, but I also saw like orbs flying around right in front of the camera. It wasn't a fly or anything like that. I get out of bed and I come into my living room and I'm looking around and and I phone my friend right away, who is not the person by any means I should have called, because he doesn't believe in anything like this, right? And I was really surprised it caught it on camera, right? Like on a little camera. But I mean, like more spirits also. And recently this person who I saw with the baseball cap and that, he actually recently, I didn't get his pure face, so I can't confirm it 100%, but a friend of mine had committed suicide a couple of months ago, and he looks just like him.
Aww. Do you think he was
And I know I know his family, right? I've known his family for, I would say, 40 years now. There we go, 40 years now. And I used to babysit him when he was younger.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of suicides lately too, of course. And I mean, I get that's why for me, I get spirits around me all the time and I communicate 24/7. It's a normal thing, but it was on my camera, right? And I'm like, wow. So I thought, okay, now I got to talk about this too, because, like Aggie said, the veil is getting thinner. And even if it wasn't like myself, I bet that other people, and I know they have been seeing a lot more energies around them, or feeling it or sensing it somehow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's there if you look. It's there if you
because
come in, right?
Because even like our angels and our guides, for instance, for quite some time, but especially, for instance, this month being so harsh in energies, our angels and our guides are going to be around us even more so they'll be giving you more signs, right? The signs can come in so many different ways, and they're just letting you know we're with you, even though if you're feeling like you're very alone and you have no one to talk to, or you're feeling very lonely, we're here with you. That's why they give more signs, if not even more so, especially with COVID. A lot of dark forces are lingering around. A lot more things are being exposed and will be exposed even more so this month, and so on. But a lot of truth has been coming out.
Yes. And with the energies the way they are, the way that I feel them, I invite my angels into my day every morning. I'm like, come on in, intervene, feel free. You have my permission. Absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing also is that, you deal with these kinds of psychic energies all the time in your work, and you practice it more, so you're probably more in tune to it. But this is something.
Okay.
Aha, we got a fourth guest here.
Okay.
I know. Sorry.
I think this is something that people can wake up. They can actually make it better, but just by doing a few things and tuning into things. Maybe I could get you to talk a little bit about how can actually people reawaken their psychic abilities that they had when they were that tall, and we had invisible friends and stuff.
I mean, like whenever you're a child, you're still, most of us are still in that innocence, and that innocence void where we're sitting there and anything can make us laugh, the littlest things, to see like a little cartoon or anything that will make you smile, right? When we start to get older, of course, life becomes really serious. So, we have a tendency to take a look and listen to our ego more, pay attention to more like negative events, toxic events, like all of that. So we lose a sense of who we are on a soul level, and we don't listen to our inner child. So when you're trying to open up like your intuition more, to see more, to pay attention more. It's really important, even more so nowadays, to take time out for yourself in silence, to be like really quiet. Like, even it's like, turn your phone off, turn everything off, sit back and just not think. Because the more you try to think, you're not going to hear those messages coming through. So meditation is by far the number one thing to bring out your abilities more, to open up your third eye, because you're tuning in with source energy. You know, you can also, like, go for nature walks, do things that you're passionate about. That's that inner child. Like, your inner child, let's say if you like coloring, you very well could be an artist. And it's like, buy a coloring book. Get your pencils and crayons and paints out, and you'll be surprised. That could be part of who you are as your soul when you follow your destinies. Your soul's passion can lead you to your destiny and your soul's purpose. It can also be very much connected with your past life as well. And opening up your abilities, it's all about to staying away, and I can't stress this out even, like it's so big, staying away as much as you can from negative situations, staying away from toxic negative energies. And it doesn't matter if it's like family, friends, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant, because you become who you surround yourself with. Exactly. So it's like, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what, I have my day planned, I'm going to go do this, this, and that, but I'm just going to run over to see my friend and have a coffee with them or pick up something. And you could spend even 5 minutes with that person, and they could drag you down and drain your energy so quickly that you're like, okay, I just want to go home now. I'm just going to grab a pizza. I don't want to go to the store and get my organic foods, let's say, or whatever. I'm completely drained. So it's really watching who you're behind and who you're with and who you're connecting with on so many different modalities, and setting boundaries.
Yeah.
It's the simplest things. It's the simplest things that really increase your abilities, but yet it works tenfold. It really works tenfold. Staying true to who you are, following your own truth, walking in your own authentic true self. Because if you start being somebody who you're not, it's not going to work with you. You're going to go on a different pathway. You can attract things. You'll attract all kinds of things to yourself. But if that's not who you are, that vibrational frequency is not going to stay in alignment with you. And what you're trying to accomplish is not going to happen.
Exactly.
Everybody knows an energy vampire. Very often we have one in our midst. So we need to stay away from them.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been the black sheep of my family. I've pretty much, they threw me on the street when I was a child, and I've had to fend on my own, right? Which has made me a lot stronger in who I am, right? And that's why, because things happen for a reason. And that's why, for me to help somebody, like when I spend one-on-one quality time with someone, I truly want that person, after I talk to them, to feel that peace within, to give them some kind of answers that, okay, it might not be easy for you to do this or to end this or walk, in different ways. But if you want that inner peace and walking in alignment with your soul, you have to take certain steps to get there. And of course, it's never easy. When things are flowing, you're on the right pathway. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, that mission there, that's just way too hard. That mission could be what transcends your life in such a huge way.
Yes.
And gives you that freedom.
Yes. Yes. The key is saying yes to it.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, that's why I work with different energies, like full moon, new moon, all of these different energies, because we all have stuff we have to clear, of course. And if I need something like, okay, Spirit, I need some extra help with this, whatever it is, I'm like, okay, Spirit, please give me the strength and the will to help me walk through this, to work through it. Please give me the clarity I need so I can see what direction I need to move into, if it's ending things or if it's starting things. And confronting and facing our fears is so important. You have to be ready, of course. And that's why I'm like, okay, Spirit, give me the strength. I'm asking for the strength from the Holy Spirit to help me move forward and work through this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's never ending. You could be 90 years old and still dealing with stuff, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's that onion that we continue to peel, right?
Yeah. The
Yes.
mind never ages. And mine just, I'm still at 35. I don't want to change that. But
Well, why would you? Why would you, right? You know, you stay who you like. I mean, I'll be like from whatever age I'm at, even if, let's say, if I'm 90, right? If I want to wear my hair in pigtails, I'm wearing my hair in pigtails.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to have my hair color being 100 colors, I'm going to do that because that's who I am, right? That's
absolutely.
that's staying true to who you are. And my attitude is, right? If you don't like what you see, don't look at it.
That's it.
Simple.
Look away.
Yes, you can't judge anybody, right? Like, the number one law of the universe is you cannot judge anyone. You don't know that person's path and their journey. And even if you did, you have no right whatsoever to judge anybody, right? Like, I'm an observer. I'll sit back and I'll observe everything and I'll be like, okay, right? Nobody's perfect. We all have stuff we have to deal with, but you can't judge anybody.
Either way, don't worry. You look really good for 90, so you're doing fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. You know, we were talking before the show a little bit about also you had a near-death experience where you had some really interesting thing happen when you were in Hawaii and on the beach. I think the listeners really would like to hear this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've had several near-death experiences, right? However, like, I've been standing in front of Christ before, and the one in Hawaii was, I just needed some space and time. And every year I'd go to Hawaii and I'd normally spend a week on an island just for me. And then I'd go to one of the other islands and spend it with friends or whatever like that. And so I happened to be in Honolulu at Waikiki Beach. I was on my air mattress and I just wanted to kind of like mind my own business, get in the water, float on the air mattress, go with the zen and the vibes. And then I had this really strange, weird feeling of, right? And I didn't know what that was, right? So I turned my head slightly and, like, out of nowhere, the wave, 20 feet tall. I don't know how high it was. I don't know. It took me, it swept me right under the currents, right down. My air mattress went like really high up in the air, like where to, I don't know. And I was in the currents and I'm like, I was like 100% I was going to die. And I'm like, you know what? If this is how I'm supposed to go, so be it. And then I'm like, I've heard drowning is supposed to be painful. And I'm like, you know what, Spirit, just do it. Like, just do it already. And I started to get angry, right? I'm like, do it already, right? So then I saw and I felt the biggest hand, like a cupped hand, like the biggest in the whole wide planet, pick me up underneath my body. And I saw a vision of Christ and bring me up above the water. And right there was my air mattress. Like it was right there. The energy, I'm sure it was Christ, because that was my second encounter with Christ. And that's why I channel and work with the Christ consciousness right there on my air mattress. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's not time for me to go yet. Right? Like,
sorry, I got mad.
Yeah, right. And I was just quite like taken back. And then I looked at, okay, where am I? You know, where's the beach? Where's the hotels on the beach? Because Waikiki, like the hotels are right there on the strip. And I'm like, okay, I just want to get out of the water. So I got out of the water. I went back to my hotel and I had my shower and I laid on my bed. And on my bed, I could just feel my body going like this for the entire night.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's
right.
Powerful.
And I kept hearing, you have to go with the flow. Right. And literally my body was like going with the flow. Right. And I'm like, wow. Like and then it's like, okay, I guess I have more work to do here then.
Yeah. Is that what you consider a wake-up call?
That was another wake-up call, because I remember specifically why I went there. Long story short, I was working a lot. I wasn't happy. My stepmother had just passed. I was dealing with so many things, and I'm like, I need to get away. And then I talked to a friend, and I couldn't really afford to go. I didn't really want to like put all this on my credit card, why it's pricey. And he says, Jeni, you cannot not afford to go. Mm-hmm. Right? This is your mental well-being, like you need to get away and all of these things. So I'm like, okay, I said, I'm going to ask Spirit if another sign. So I had a sign from Spirit that, yes, you should go. And I went and I left, and I was so grateful I did. So then when I got there, and I'm still a little bit stressed out, still having problems unwinding, right? And I'm like, in Hawaii, like, this is crazy. Like, why would, because I'm a beach person, beach, water, sun, that's completely me, right? And I'm like, why can't I relax? So obviously, I'm like, okay, get an air mattress, just go out in the water, get away from all these other people, and you'll have your moment. You can meditate, calm, Zen vibes. So that's when the universe is like, okay, we need to really give you a wake-up call. And I mean, and the more wake-up calls that somebody has, or even it can take even one wake-up call, and that can really show you more of who you are, why you're here. Because if you look at tragedies and traumas, like I'll take a traumatic event, and I will take that step back to heal and look at it and say, okay, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? What am I learning from this?
Mm-hmm. Do you think trauma is all for that purpose, for the purpose of wake up?
Well, no, like karma, of course, there's many reasons, very karmic too. That can stem back to past lives as well. It's like you had to go through this traumatic situation, like with a breakup of a relationship, or your spouse partner was cheating on you, whatever it is, in order to see, like, because I had 17 friends and both my dogs passed away in a year and a half. I dealt with that all on my own. Wow. And I'm like, wow, like really? But every time somebody passed, it made me stronger and stronger and stronger. So different things that you go through, it can either break you, like transformation, it goes either way. It can either break you where you're like, I'm giving up, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna suicide or whatever, or you're like, you know what, that gave me more strength, and now I can really move forward and really help more people. And that's what I do, and that's why I have a lot of compassion for people, and I really, like peace and giving that person that understanding, this is why this is happening to you. You're not going crazy. You're not alone, and then I'll give out a lot of details of this is why this is happening to you. If it's past life, whatever it is, and I'll combine it. So it's a very personal one-on-one reading and session. I combine everything into one session.
I love what you do for people. It's so important right now too, because people are reaching out, looking for answers during a very chaotic time.
Yeah. Because like with COVID came, of course, it shook up everybody on the planet. Nobody could run from it. Doesn't matter where you were, and I utilize that for my benefit. Right. It affects everybody different, but I utilized it, and I created a lot of different things for myself, and I'm like, created a vision board, and this is what I really, really, really want to do. And I work towards it, like 14-hour days every single day, working and working and working, you know, and I can utilize and help more people by doing that too.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. I keep muting myself because there's a car with a really loud exhaust system that keeps circling. So I'm trying to keep that out of our recording.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay, right?
So are you busier than usual right now, or?
Yeah, like I have, like I, you know, work for like a network and help a lot of people and do a lot of readings and stuff like that and help the people in the Ukraine. And like my priority is my clients. It is my clients. And, I do keep myself very busy, you know, things, you know, are picking up busier and they have been very busy. And, I get a lot of referrals and such. So, but I'm always there to work with people. It's like, yeah, just set up a time and we'll, you know, I'll talk to you. And, you know, I had a client text me at midnight. Mm-hmm.
Well, how do they reach you? That was going to be.
Through my website is the best bet, right? Like I'm on all like YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And sometimes those messages can go missing. I had a lady today that sent me a message 3 days ago and I never saw it until today. And especially with Mercury retrograde, messages can go missing, right? But it's better to message me through my website.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can contact me through there and you know, and you can let me know where I need to know where somebody is located as well, because I do international readings.
Wow.
So if somebody says, I want to book, I'm like, okay, where are you located? You know, are you locally? Are you in Australia? You know what I mean? So the time zone is important. And the further somebody books ahead, it's better, because then they can get roughly the time frame and the day, some type of dates that they're looking for. So that's what I always recommend that people do, book ahead of time.
And your website is Just Ask Jeni, JENIG.com?
No, that's my column.
Oh,
Just Ask Jeni Ji, that's my column in SF, San Francisco Yoga Magazine, SF Yoga Magazine. But my website is Soul Work with Jeni, JENI.com.
Perfect.
And that's the best place for people realistically to send me messages, because other social media, the messages can get lost. If somebody sent me a message, let's say on Facebook, for an example, right? And if I don't get back to you within 3 days, you know, send me a message on my website. That's the best bet, right?
That's good. That's good right now. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's the best bet.
So
hey, I wonder if do we have any questions already, or maybe we should take some?
We do have a question. So if you guys have questions, you can start putting them in the chat now. This would be a great time. So Marius Lowe would like to know, how do you approach grief of the loss of close friends or family?
Well, I mean, we all process grief differently in our own way. And the number one thing I always tell people is take your own time to process grief, because some people, you know, they can get over grief sooner than somebody else, let's say. So if other people are saying, you know what, you should have gotten over that by now, it's been a year, 2 years, you know, let that person go, or, you know, or you know, just ignore it. And it's really, because anytime there's love, there's pain. There's going to be pain one way or the other. And it's really important to take a look back and look at the memories you had with that person. You know, sometimes, you know, it's like, okay, if that person liked to, you know, go to a lake or go swimming, you know, maybe go there and take a walk around it. By ignoring it or trying to walk away from it, it's going to stay within yourself. And even I would even suggest get a little bit more active as well, because if we're not active, our energy, traumas, our like emotions, it stays in our body. So the minute we start getting, walking around more or working out and such like that, it moves the energy around, and I would just say, you know what, I'm so grateful I had you in my life. And ask that person for a sign, like a physical sign. They're very much with us.
Yeah.
And we all have a soul contract. We all have a soul contract. It doesn't make it easier. And, when that person passes, regardless how old they are, if they're 5 years old or 50 or 90, let's say, it was the time for that person to go, regardless of how. It's like 9/11. I had a client that worked at the towers that died at the towers. Every year I watch 9/11 for my own reasons, right? But it's like, even with 9/11, for instance, it's in your soul contract before you're born that you're going to be passing this way or that way.
Yeah.
And even, and then somebody will say, you know what, but they're in the hospice or they're in the hospital, and I was with them and they passed the second I left the room, or they passed before I got there. And I'm like, you know what, that person knew. Don't have any guilt. Don't have any guilt if you were not there when they passed, because they didn't want you there for reasons of maybe it would have been harder for you.
Yes. Crazy Horse, Margaret gave us a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Margaret. Margaret asks, have you ever seen a reptilian/vampire?
Yes. And honestly, I can feel energy. I don't know if anybody ever saw like the movie or the show, The Highlander, where when, Sean Connery or whoever it was, Adrian Paul, I liked the best, myself personally. It's like, okay, I can sense somebody's in the room. I can sense somebody's coming. So you start to prepare yourself. Like for me, I start to sense that before, ahead of time. And I don't like to be involved with that energy. When I can sense energy like that coming, I won't go near it. I don't want to be part of it. And if I do have to stand in front of it for whatever reason, because they can be anywhere at any given time, I play stupid. Completely stupid. So when that person is trying to get my attention, whatever way, I can read right through it, mind you. Okay. But listen to your intuition. Really pay attention to your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, pay attention to it. You might not understand it or get it. Always pay attention to it. And, I will like say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you right now. Or, oh, it was, I'm not available, or I'll just walk the opposite direction. Like this one person I could sense come, I was walking down the street and I could feel that something's coming up, and I'm like, oh dear God, it's not from this world. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be near it. I don't want that person. Never make eye contact. Honestly, don't, as best as you can. And this person, I'll never forget that feeling ever in my whole entire life, right? They were like walking there on a mission. They knew that where they were going, they were not anywhere near human whatsoever. That was really, and I just kind of took those steps backwards and kind of went around the corner. I just didn't want any contact with that energy at all.
Yeah.
I just really don't like, like I have people say, oh, you should read my books on reptilians, or let's hang out, or I won't. I don't want to be involved with that type of energy at all. That's myself personally. That's just my own. Everybody has their own way. I get that. But I personally don't like to be around it, because you got to watch that. You can attract all kinds of things. Like if you start getting involved and attracted more to certain things, you're going to attract that to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You will. Oh, you will.
We have another question. It's from Courtney Shannon. What is holding me back? Courtney asks, what is holding me back from having my full gift set available to me now? Also, what is holding me back from full recall?
Yeah, it right away I heard fear. Like like even before you read that full sentence and question, it's automatically fear. And this is where you need to take this step aside, spend this alone time. You've got a lot of different energy, meaning people around you, that is pulling you back, right? So if you said, you know what, I want to be an artist or ballerina, for an example, and if you have other people around you that are saying you're never going to make it, that's too hard to get into, you're never this, you're never that, it's going to put self-doubt in your mindset. Surround yourself with positive people, right? Positive people that support you, positive energy that, you know, like a mentor, you know, and because if you're hanging out with negative people, I don't care if it's family or not, right? On, you know, it doesn't matter. You're going to become one of them. Who you hang out with is who you're going to become. So a lot of fear is stemming in your way. You got to cut this cords. There's some energy, some male around you that's pulling you back, and pulling you back. You already know who it is. It's very karmic. It's very past life. You've been struggling with this situation back and forth. You need to energetically cut the ties and the ties. And when you put that focus onto yourself and self-love, you're going to be really surprised. You're gonna start to see a difference.
Love that. Love. So Courtney Shannon asks again, how do we reawaken the psychic abilities we had as children?
Okay, so your voice kind of cut out there. Well, we all have abilities. We're all gifted. I always see all of us has our own abilities. We're all gifted. We can all tune in. You need to go back to your inner child. You know how I just said that there's a lot of energies negative around you. You're getting pulled back. You need to surround yourself with positive people. You need to follow your passions. Like, what are you passionate about? You know, what's your passion? You know, you could be passionate about knitting, right? You could be passionate about writing. You could be follow your passions.
Cooking.
Don't worry about the end result. Keep on following that, because when you do that, you're going to be really surprised. You're going to start get more messages coming through. Your intuition is getting stronger because you're listening to your soul speak. There's a big difference.
Love that. Love. Donna Boughton asks, why do I feel so much more loved when I am around animals? Can you not hear me? I'm so sorry.
No, it's really low. That's why I go up to there. But you said, why do you feel love around animals? What's your first name?
It's Donna. Why do I feel so much more loved when I'm around animals?
Because animals all are about unconditional love. Like if you take a look at a dog spelled backwards is God, G-O-D, D-O-G. Animals are here. There's many reasons, but animals are here to help awaken our hearts, to show us how to love again, right? You know, there was, and that's why with you gravitate more so towards animals, you connect with animals, because if you, and I'm not going to go on about it, it's personal, because I can already see what's going on with you, but it's personal. But if you take a look at your life, Donna, there's like abandonment issues. There's issues of rejection. There's that voice within you that you're trying to say, that you're trying to speak. And if you notice, whenever you do so, you kind of have to defend yourself. And because nobody's hearing you. So animals will gravitate towards you because they want to show you love. And you want to gravitate yourself around animals because you need love. That's why.
Beautiful. Nancy says, I've had ET contact from childhood. Why don't they want me to remember what was said and done?
And her first name again was?
Nancy.
Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, we all have different counters with different things. There's a lot of, like Nancy, I keep on seeing with you actually, by the way, you need to get some turmeric into your body. I'm seeing like by the way, your bones being a little bit brittle. You might find you like arthritis. the energy came into your life basically to test you. Like, it's so involved with why they came to you. You need to stand in your own power. There's a father. I keep on hearing a father energy coming through. Very well, there could have been like a father energy or a husband or a male energy that tried to kind of control you, hold you at the reins, right? So you kind of went into this fear zone, this vulnerability zone and such like that. And this is why we have to be careful, because when we get vulnerable, this is when dark energies have a tendency to come to you. You know, that's why it's like when you get depressed, you got to be careful, because the darker energies, they're like, ooh, you know, so they have a tendency to sweep you up and take you.
That's so good.
So, yes.
So good. Thank you. Margaret asks, why do I have such a close relationship with insects? Jeez.
Insects. Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Why does she, like, in a good way? Like, does she like insects, or is she scared of insects?
No, I think she likes them. Yeah.
Okay. She likes insects, Margaret, because your energy, by the way, it's very native. I'm hearing it's very, energy is like shaman energy. I've literally seen you like in the Amazon or Costa Rica or somewhere like that, like in the like the jungle type vibes, right? Jungle type vibes, not like the woods, but the jungle type vibes for initiation. And you literally would connect with these little insects and utilize them, like literally utilize these energies, because way Inca days, I'm hearing too for you, by the way. It takes you back into initiation days. It takes you back into you exploring your magic of medicine woman, medicine man energy. Like, I'm seeing plant medicine too. So the ants are connected with that, right? Like, I know she knows what I'm talking about.
That's amazing. That's a really good reading, right, Margaret? Right? That was great. Cher, darling, asks, what is my highest purpose now? Now, what is my highest purpose?
You need your voice. You need, again, you want your voice to be heard. And before any of that, you have to really take a look at the energy all around you. Get rid of the toxic energies that you have around you. They are dragging you down. And I mean, you're a very, very old soul. You're very into it. Your intuition, when you're on your own and you're away from these certain toxic people, without going into details, you're going to hear more messages coming through. You need to release them and let go. I mean, you very well could, like, you can read people, right? Like, use cards, use like any cards you're really, really drawn to, because your abilities, you can really help other people, but you got to clear up the old. You got to clear out these other toxic energies, is what I keep on hearing, if that's the direction you want to go towards, because if not, you're going to be stuck. Nothing's going to shift for you.
That's really good. That's really good. Laura
That
asks,
could apply to a lot of people.
Laura asks, how can I feel my direction in life?
How can you feel your direction? You know, and right now is, what's that?
How can I lead my son and family too? I feel some spiritual blockage. And she referenced Princess Mary Magdalena and James Gatchelin. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Laura, it's Laura, right? Her name?
Laura Eisenhower. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Laura. So, I mean, again, with you, Laura, yeah, you're a very, very, very old soul. That's why you connect with the Mary Magdalene energy. You have that mama vibe. You're very protective of your family. You're the type of person that can run the roost. You're the type of person that you could have a family of 10, you could have a family of 20, and you literally could run every single one of them. Your intuition, you got to pay more. You have some water sign in you. I bet you somewhere in your chart, Pisces or something. You can be very business oriented. You have that energy to turn people like into their best self, as long as you are showing self-confidence to your family members. They'll look at you because they're looking at you, and it's like we become who we surround ourselves with, even if it's family, right? So it's like, if you want your children to grow up and be a certain way, like really teach them, you know what, follow your passion, be authentic, be who you are. When you're speaking your truth to them, you're listening, you're following your own heart and your own soul, and they're automatically going to feel that anyways.
That's
and
amazing.
It'll get stronger. By the water, I keep on hearing the water by her for some reason.
I'm going to make an appointment with you. You're amazing. Initials BG asks, what is blocking me from receiving?
Is that a male or female?
I don't know. We can move on. And
I'm feeling male. I don't know, for some reason. I'm going to read the energy as a male, by the way. I just keep on hearing male. If it's not, it's going to be the same. Energy is energy, right? But okay, what was the question for BG again? Sorry.
What is blocking me from receiving?
Okay, when you are the one, this is where the receiving and giving has to be balanced. If you're the one that is constantly giving, you aren't going to receive, because you're telling spirit, you know what, I'm not open to receive because I keep on giving. This is why it's so important to set boundaries. So important, right? Like, I have to set boundaries every single day. I still do every single day, right? So very important to do that. Set boundaries. Take that step back for yourself, because when you have to have the balance and receive entwined as one, because you will have blockages within your body if you don't, and that blocks off prosperity and abundance.
Awesome. Really good. Rachel asks, do I have gifts or ability, and can you tell me what they are? Like, if we have the ability to talk to spirits, how do we bring that gift to the surface?
Yeah, Rachel is very, 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 very intuitive. I see Rachel as being a teacher. I see Rachel as being involved with like a wellness coach, if it's like wellness coach, holistic yoga, things like that. And I can see her teaching. So, start reading, start studying subjects that you're drawn to, regardless what it is. Like, people say, what book should I read? And I'm like, you know what? Whatever you're drawn to, because what I might read, like Alice Bailey, I'm not going to recommend that to somebody, right? Unless, that might help them. So everybody should read whatever you're drawn to. If you want to learn about chakras or whatever's like, modality or subjects, buy a book, get information online, and then you're going to find that, that was really interesting. I'm going to continue. And then you start reading a little bit, and then you're like, oh, I didn't know what that was about. That's going to be my next book. That's how it starts.
That's amazing. Dana asks, why am I surrounded by cats right now? I'm such a dog person, so I'm kind of confused because I'm surrounded by cats.
Cats represent independence. So, all animals represent a lot of different things, but cats are telling you to bring out your feminine qualities. Cats are, telling you to stand up for your rights. Cats are very independent. Anytime there's a cat fight, it can wait. I mean, a dog fight will, it'll get your attention too, but a cat fight, you can hear it, that sound, that meow, right? So it's the vibration and frequency, and cats take you back to Egypt.
Wow. That's good stuff right there. Dana, thank you. Dana sent us a super chat. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl says, I share this with Cheryl too. I've smelled flowers when someone in my family died, and also had an ET contact with no memory, also dark forces in the past. How do I show my family how much I love them and get over the past?
I mean, like we all have a past, right? All of us do. And that's our life journey. We're here to clear karmic situations and learn lessons, right? Don't be hard on yourself, right? You know, sometimes we have to repeat certain lessons over and over again until we get it, until we finally learn, right? The dark forces are with anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. I have a client right now that is fighting dark forces in her dreams, and she wakes up with scratches on her body. It's that bad, right? Stay away. That's why it's really important to stay away from dark energies, meaning negative people, toxic people. Stay away from drama, everything like that. I would rather be alone than be around negative energy, drama, like toxic. That's just myself. You know, we all intertwine with it one way or another. We're human. There's a world out there. It's how you go about that. With your family, be yourself, speak your truth, just stay true to yourself. It doesn't matter who it is. Makes no difference. You don't have to start defending who you are. If you start, the day you have to start defending, I put this on my very first website I had many, many, many years ago. I said, the minute I have to start defending who I am is the minute you need to start deleting me as your friend or contact.
That's so good. That's so good. So we're running out of time.
Wow.
We can do one more quick one. Angela says, I feel so lost. Is there any direction that you might have for me?
This whole month, by the way, too, with all of these energies, with the 6 retrogrades, full moon, new moon, solar flares, the whole entire month, you're going to find that we're going to have brain frog, as I call it. And you're going to find that today, let's say I might be feeling good, but then tomorrow you could wake up feeling I'm lost. Where do I go? And that's all a part of this energy right now this month. A lot of things are getting brought up to the surface for you to pay attention to. And this is why it's really important to start writing down different things, what you're passionate about, like a vision board. I had to reset and started rewriting a vision board. And if I'm like, oh, I'd like to maybe get back into yoga, or geez, I'd really like to, like whatever it is, start writing down different things. Don't force yourself to think, what do I want to do? Because then you won't hear it, right? And just, you know, like just take time out for you, because when you overthink and over process, you're not going to get it. Like you're not going to hear those messages. And that's why I'm like, okay, Spirit, you know what? I'm surrendering this to you. I'm open. This is the trick. It works. I'm open to see and hear messages that are best for my higher self and highest purpose. I am open and I'm ready. And then stay in that zone in silence. This is why taking time out in silence is so important. And you're going to be like, okay, but I didn't hear anything. Well, of course you're not, because you're trying to force it. So just kind of get into that zone every day. And when you start to do that, you're going to hear those little messages coming in. You're fine. You're perfectly fine. And I know you feel like you're taking steps backwards, Angela, but actually I keep hearing you're taking steps forward. You have that real healing ability in you. You're extremely creative, very creative. I'm seeing crystals around you. I'm seeing like artsy stuff around you. Travels. I'm seeing, what am I being shown? Peru? Something there. You're going to all of a sudden hear within within 2 years. Oh, and there's a man coming into your, oh my, there's a man coming into your life, darker features, like more kind of Spanish, could be Peruvian maybe. There's a soul connection there. Really pay attention to that when he comes in.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
so without going on to details.
We have to do one more because I inadvertently skipped Katie. Katie says, I'm scattered. I'm not sure where to focus my energy. Not sure what my gifts are. Tarot, mediumship. What is the best for me to focus on at this time?
Yeah, like the whole brain fog thing for all of us this month, pay attention to you guys, right? We're all going to kind of have our good days and bad days with that, right? But for you, Katie, I can see you're very intuitive. I can see you working with crystals, and also too, by the way, I can see you making, like, if it's jewelry or something, you're going to be very passionate about something. You know, I'm also seeing cooking involved with that too somehow. Halloween for you, I'm seeing very creative, off the charts. You're going to start dabbling in a lot of different things, new agey, spiritual, on a lot of different spiritual subjects. Don't get so overwhelmed by, okay, I have to buy 100 books, right? Take, you know, one little subject at a time and really start reading it. Let's say if it's online or a book or wherever, how, and see if that resonates with you. You're going to be going through this process, especially within the next 6 weeks. Halloween, especially, I'm hearing even more so. You are right on track. Don't force anything. Your health, it's going to be up and down. Pay a little bit more attention to that. But you're going to be perfectly fine. That creative, that dream that you want, you're all of a sudden going to hear it. Very passionate. Follow that. People are going to be saying, wow, have you thought about actually doing that? You're very good at it.
That's amazing.
Very good at it.
Please tell people how to reach you again.
Who, me?
Yes, please. Tell
through my website is the best bet. soulworkwithjeni.com, JENI.com. And there's a couple of ways on my website you can contact me. And then I get the message and I'll reply back to you. And then I'll ask you, you know, and then we can book a time and set something up. Absolutely, for sure.
That's great. That's great. And
That sounds
you're
good.
going to come back again. Everybody in the chat room wants you to come back.
Oh, I'd be honored.
Yeah. That's what I see for Jeni. Jeni's coming back on Broadcast Team Alpha somewhat regularly.
I'm just so grateful.
Good.
Thank you so much, Jeni. Augie, take us out. Thank you.
Oh, I got to ask you my favorite question, as I did last time. If you could talk to the whole world and the world were listening, what would you tell them?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. You know, like, learn to love and accept people for who they are. And you have to show yourself compassion. You have to include yourself, number one. Like, if I ask people, what do you like? All of these things, you know, like, what are you grateful for? You have to take a look at yourself too. Have compassion for yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Go with the flow and surrender. Everything has a tendency to working out, you know, the way it's supposed to work out, as long as you're following the path that resonates with you, and you're being very authentic and you're being true to yourself. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Speak truth, walk with integrity, follow what resonates with you, and you're going to see how things start to happen for you.
Yep, that's one thing that I need to learn, not be too hard on myself.
I know. I'm the same.
Thank you.
I'm the same. We're all just human. Don't forget.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. Thank you very much for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Like, thank you so much, you both. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.